Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breaking Breaks. I'm your host, Neil. This is week 9 of my Sith Temple on Malacore build. We've gotten a lot of work done so far. We've still got quite a bit more to go. Last month I didn't get too much done on it because, I decided to travel to PA for Brick Fair, and it was a good time. I'm glad I went. And of course, that will lead on to bigger and better things here in the new year, and I'm looking forward to all that. Right now we're talking Brick World Chicago. I know plans are in motion now as we speak. In fact, I got off the phone last night with somebody, and they're telling me all about it, and everything so far is a green go. So time will tell with that. As time gets closer, we'll be able to decide exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. On top of that, I'm thinking about possibly going to Columbus in March. So we'll see how well that works out. But anyway, what's up with this Bricklink thing? Bricklink used to be worldwide. Now it's not so much worldwide. 35 countries have been turned off from the Bricklink ordering, selling, and buying platform, and it's quite interesting. I really don't know why yet. I would love to know why. A couple of those countries like Ukraine, Russia, Argentina, I can understand, some of those countries, they're at war. They don't have time to play Lego or build anything and be creative. They're too busy trying to stay warm and eat and survive. And I understand that. There's a lot of crap going on over there that is beyond me. So with that being said, hopefully Bricklink will get all those countries back online sooner than later, because what brings the world together than Lego. But anyway, let's get into this build. Well, my friends, it is time to continue on with this build. We've got to continue on with this second deck. We need to get the supports in place. We need to get the walls together and start working on the top of it. Not to mention, we still got this area to work on all the way around. We still got the panelings on the first side, as well as the groundwork and the rest of the kind of weird looking crap that goes out front. So we just got a lot of work to do, and we've got 8 weeks in, and this is week 9. So let's just bust our balls and get to it. All right, so ultimately I decided to go with 7 sections instead of 9. Well, I'm not going to need those extra 2 supports because this thing is built pretty solid. Not to mention the center tubing here that's completely solid for the geyser is the only real solid part. But with the main retaining walls built into this thing, everything else is pretty solid. Not to mention I probably do a little over redundancy here. So once it all goes into place, I just kind of have these pre-built columns that I already put together. And we're just going to kind of slap those in place. Already measured up to the height I want. For the most part. I always got to add a couple more bricks in to get it right. Now as I interlock all these together with flats and plates, it becomes a lot more rigid. Now as you can see here, when I was talking about before, the math is a little off by 1 column in one direction and 1 column in the other direction. So I'm really messing with odds. So these back sections actually have an extra number 13, I guess you could say, that I have to make up for here, where the 2 front sections are 12. But that's just how the math went. Angles can be just a pain in the ass to deal with sometimes. Alright, so I'm leaving a bit of space in between the 2 sections here. But the top will just pretty much just butt right up against each other, simply because that way there's not a lot of friction as they go together. I have a bit of movement in there to shift it around if I need to. But ultimately we have a locking stud in place for the whole section. Ultimately, when you build stuff like this, you hope when you set up someplace that when they give you 2 tables to set up on, one of them's not completely warped. Putting this kind of build on a warped table like that kind of throws everything off. which means the geyser tube is not going to line up correctly. So you've always got to watch out for that kind of thing. I've seen people build their own tables and take them. Unfortunately, I don't have any way to move stuff like that, so we're not doing any of that. So as you can see, these sections are butted up next to each other at the top, but there's a space in between all the way down to the bottom. Alright, so we've gotten 3 sections pretty much done. We've got to start to 2 more, and we're going to finish these 2 front ones real quick and kind of get this stuff going here. Now the panel work I haven't 100% decided on, so we're still working on that. But I have come up with some really good ideas here. Like I said, you work with what you got. You run out of one filler piece, you find something else to use. Alright, so I'm using black in the corner sections mainly because I have a lot of black. And 2, you know, if light pierces the corners, it will, you won't see into it. It's black. And once again, I'm designing all this to butt up next to itself. So the only real friction will be at the top. I'll use what's known as a lock pin to kind of lock them all in place. As I watch Star Wars on the computer in the background. La, 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 la. Alright my friends, we have taken this build as far as we're going to take it this week. We've gotten quite a bit done here. We are moving along. We've gotten 2 sections completed and almost a third. We still got the 4th section to do, and then you know we're going to have to start working on some of this detail, the siding, the plating. And I did build this one plate here, but I'm thinking that we're going to have to revisit that simply because when you do 2 plates together, sometimes you get this pull effect and it pulls. And I have that on this end, which I'm not liking, and a little bit down on that end, which ain't bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into 2 plates rather than just 1, and we'll do the same with the back. So we've got a lot of work to do yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the support system that I've got going on here. Alright, so you can still see into this. You can see it's just structured the same way we did the bottom, just a little taller. And all these are designed to just pop right on off. Now I've got these 2 are butted up next to each other just there at the top. As you can see, there's a space underneath. And I've got my markings that lets me know where it breaks apart. Just like I've got my markings here that lets me know where it breaks apart here. So once the bottom goes back together, then we can start putting together the next section, and so on. 3 big full sections. Well, that'll be all together 7. But we're moving along. I like it. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so next time we're going to focus on completing this side. We're going to get the roof on, and then once that's done, then we're going to start working on some of the detail and polishing up the sides of this temple. We'll get this plating onto the sides of it before we continue on, because I need to know how I'm going to put LED lights in here and how and if what. Because I am technically out of red lights, so really I kind of want to add some more. I might have to camouflage them, the white ones behind some red plating. We will see, you know, so I've got to put some Well, my friends, if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I did a good job, and it suggests this kind of content to anybody that might be into it. Of course, you got a good idea for the build, got a good question, or just want to shoot the shit, put that down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you smash that subscribe button. It takes you a mere half second, but for me, it really does mean an awful lot. And I'll see you here next time on Breaking Bricks.